Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Walsall, and what I want to do in this video is take you to a bit of a disaster zone, if you like. It's called the Old Square Shopping Centre. Now when I said it was a retail disaster zone, when I did filming around there before, it really was. There was absolutely no shops whatsoever inside a premier shopping centre here in Walsall. So what I want to do is take you around the area of Old Square, have a look in the Old Square Shopping Centre and see if anything has changed, some shops in there. But anyway, we're going to have a look and see what we can find around the Old Square. It was around 1968 that this began work here on the Old Square in order to create a new shopping area just ahead here at Digbeth, and just on the corner, well, sort of ahead of me, there once stood a hotel called the George Hotel. It had been there since 1781 and it was demolished in 1979. Quite a large building actually. And we'll just show you around here where there's a bit of a market going on. Nothing like the old market, but this is where the statue of Sister Dora is. That's where this is known as the bridge. And Lloyd's Bank ahead, very ornate old building. So we'll go up here. This is Digbeth. So 1968 when they began work in this area. £21 million was invested in 2014 to create a more modern retail shopping environment, which we have Primark here as one of the Halo stores. There's the entrance to the old Victoria Arcade. It's not too bad in there actually. There's very rarely find an empty unit in there. Show you a few of the stores along here. There's a coffee shop. And look what we've got here. Some kind of old beer barrels outside that place. Not sure what that place is. But we know what these places are. This is a hair and beauty. Next door there's another one of, well, one of many of these shops around, the nail bars. And that's bubble milk tea. There was a few of them places knocking around a while back. Very popular at once. I'm not so sure now. I think the bubble might have burst. The Victorian Arcade. And when I came up here last time, I said, there's a fish store here, and I said it's closed down, but it hasn't. I happened to be coming through here on a Monday, and they don't open on a Monday. £30 for a 70-piece barbecue pack from Alan Warwick Butchers. He's got a bit of fresh fish on there. Area was opened in 2014. For the life of me, I can't remember what sort of shops were over on this side, or what was over this side. A tanning centre and a play area. Obviously Primark has revitalised Old Square. Always popular is Primark. Now the market stalls used to run all the way along here through the centre of Digbeth and all the way up Park Street ahead. But you can see now there's just a handful of stalls, market stalls. This is a Friday morning and it's fairly quiet.
Thank you very much.
Mainly clothing, what these stalls have got to sell. Jackets, trousers, bit of second-hand stuff. There used to be a Dulce's up here when it first opened in the early 70s. and I've mentioned this on a couple of videos I've done in the past when I've come up Walsall. Just there you can see where the Overstrand restaurant used to be situated. It came from there and went across to join another building here, but that's all gone now. Do you remember Crossroads? That soap opera on ITV that ran until the 80s. Meg Richardson and that. Well, they did an episode of Crossroads just here, and there used to be a bit of an alleyway just there. It's all gone now. But it was an episode, a segment of Crossroads was filmed there. Anyway, we've got an ambulance here. And we've got all these like barriers now that you often find where markets are. Safety barriers stopping vehicles going through. And this is the sort of shops you have now as we climb the hill here in the high street of Walsall. I'll show you a couple of buildings here. Well, two pubs. This is the Highgate. This was Market Tavern. Been here since 1841. I can show you the size of this place. I think it closed. It's been closed since around 2010, I think. It had a couple of other names, but I think it's always been remembered as the Market Tavern. And I think the plans were passed actually to construct, to turn this place into a care home. It does seem a strange place to have a care home, but you can see now there is something going on. Anyway, this is George Street. But we've got a Joey Greek restaurant here. Now let's have a look at some of the... Yes, sir.
I'm just refurbishing.
Well, I bumped into Marlene and Tahir, both supporters of the channel. I will say this, most of the people I meet who are supporters of the channel I meet in supermarkets, funny enough. And I always say to them, what's your name? And I'll give you a shout out and I'll do the next video. And I always forget. I know there was a John Bishop, but I think his partner was Tracy, but I can't be 100%. And then I met Wayne in the supermarket. I said I'd give him a mention. I saw Jenny and Ray also today. So if I do say I'm going to mention you and I forget, then it's just my memory, isn't it? There's a tech repair. Well, it's a phone shop, isn't it? And there's a solicitors. There's a massage. What they used to call them massage parlours, didn't they? It says it's open. Shall we go in? Oh, I don't know. Shall we go in and have a look? Wonder what I shall see inside there. A massage table, perhaps. There's a nail and beauty parlour. There's another one. There's a barber shop. When you get a barber shop, Turkish barbers, you always tend to get one of these nail bars or a new beauty shop next door to it, don't you? There's another, and look, there's another phone shop and a vape shop together. And all that's changed up ahead, hasn't it? Look, it's a school now. I didn't know this was a school. What's it called? Studio, school, and a sixth form. Now here, of course, we have Asda. Was Sainsbury's back in the day. Sainsbury's here till what, 1985? Or was that too early? But along here, like I said, there used to be little boutique shops along here, like clothes shops, clothes boutiques, and there was a bookshop used to be sort of here, and second-hand bookstore, and there was one or two antique shops along here as well. It was all going on along this little patch of George Street. And this is a big place here, ink tattoos. I don't know why tattooing has got so popular, do you? Have you got a tattoo? I ain't got one. Never been interested in having a tattoo. There's a fine old pub ahead of me. This one's called the Black Country Arms. It sells real ale. And it's actually a Grade 2 listed building. And it never wasn't originally known as the Black Country Arms, it was known as the Green Dragon. It changed its name to the Black Country Arms in 2008. But there's been a pub on this site since 1707. It's got some historical importance. It was also part of the Guildhall, which I'm going to show you in a sec, which is having a bit of renovation. Look, you can see some scaffolding up already. Way back when, it used to have its own bowling green. And you can see it does stretch back a little bit, look. Green Dragon. It had a bowling green and it had a ballroom. From 2005 until 2006, it had a lap dancing club here as well, called the Cobra Lounge. Ambulance is still there. So I'll show you the Guildhall, which you can't really see much of now. It's been renovated. It's when we're going to have a look, see what it says on this boarding here. It says it's the Guildhall, Walsall's new creative hub, and it's opening in the summer of 2026. There's the church on the hill. It takes some doing to get up there, you know. Look at those steps, eh? Those steps to get up there. St Matthew's Church. Bit of an haberdashery store here. Don't see many of these anymore, do you? The Guildhall. I remember going in there when it was Sophia's restaurant. It was Italian restaurant. And there's the old college school of art. And was this place here, the old police station just here? Not sure what that one is. It says it's a support centre. There's an old sweet shop here. Look, it says Retro Sweets here. Retro Sweets. There's not really that many big name stores here in the old square of the High Street and Digbeth. Savers is probably one of them. And Primark obviously. Just here, you know, here with all these early 70s builds. Here, this was once the site of a famous pub called the Woolpack. It was a large Elizabethan looking pub. It's black and white timbered frontages. And yet I think it got demolished in the 60s. But anyway, let's go and have a look now in the Old Square shopping centre. Now this was a bustling place, I remember. There was a fair few stores in here, one of which was Debenhams. Just ahead of me up the escalator there was the restaurant area. Now, you come in here now. We've got some more phone repairs here with phone cases and such like. So what have we got in here? Bright House is long gone. This was Little Village Stop and Play, it's all closed now. And what's this one here? This is a charity shop. Migrant Empowerment Group. Whatever one of those are. Yeah, Debenhams is long gone now. Very popular place was Debenhams. So, prints things on t-shirts. And there's a hair and beauty and nails, look. How many more of those places do you need? There's another one here, eyes and brows. How much is one of them to get your eyebrows done? £4 to shape them. Got all these shops, they're all completely empty, look. There you can still see the signage, Debenham's restaurant. The coffee lounge. It used to be where they had baked potatoes in there, spudgy like. Bit of a shortcut now, because there's nothing in it to see. Okay, there's the Good Egg studio, tattoo studio. Very popular in there. There's Josh who's at the counter. Very popular. I often see tattoo studios, there's nobody in but that one. Quite a few in there. I don't know, this looks like a storage place of some sort. Green Stream. And it was in the George Hotel was demolished in. When the George Hotel was demolished, it was to create a Tesco in Halifax. I think that was the entrance to Tesco. And this is a florist. Doesn't seem open, but it's lit up in there. But perhaps they don't open on a Friday. This used to be a click and collect place, which obviously all closed up. And here we used to have pet supplies, all shuttered and gone, and a boutique. The same fate. Empty shuttered store here, and this one's trying to make a living here, called Alf Florin. And they've got a few clothing. There's a bit of a clothing store going on there. Men's trousers, look, three pairs for £10. And I was just going to say wow, and they've already says wow. 3 pairs of men's trousers for £10. What sort of trousers are them then, eh? This is Nationwide Building Society here on the left. I bought a couple of Pringles jumpers from here once, from this clothes store. For the life of me, I cannot remember what the clothing store used to be. But it was run by a very excitable lady who used to call everybody mate, man and woman. And then it got converted into this restaurant or cafe, but that's all closed down now. Okay, we're out of the Old Square shopping centre, and it's not a shopping centre anymore, is it? It's a disaster zone. It really is. An absolute disaster in there. I'll just show you the frontage. The Co-op on the corner is part of the Old Square. Just here. There once used to be a cinema that stood here, and it was originally called the Picture House, and it opened on July 1920, and it became the Gorman Cinema in 1948, and then it became an Odeon in 1965. It closed in May of 1967 for some refurbishment, and it opened in October 1967 with a satirical spy film called Casino Royale. And then one of the most dramatic fights ever seen in the centre of Warsaw occurred in 1971, where an arson attack destroyed practically the entire building, and the whole roof caved in and just collapsed inwards. And so after which, obviously, it never opened again until 1972, 1973 was demolished. So this is Bridge Street now. To the right we've got some very old buildings here. We've got the Tudor house, Tudor buildings, and next to that we have the Jerome buildings. But all these buildings here, I think it was part of the Warsaw Observer offices. But you can see, look at the top of that old building there, you can still see the name Observer up there. Look. Looks Georgian, doesn't it? That building on the corner, that's the Leicester buildings. As you can see, we've got the Nationwide underneath, and also we have the building itself is occupied by solicitors. This building here on the corner, it was once known as the Stork Inn, and then it changed its name to the Dirty Duck. Who remembers the Dirty Duck, eh? All closed up now, look. I saw one or two lights above, which indicates that maybe one or two of the rooms up there are to let. There've been one or two rooms up there that's been let off as accommodation. And this is Freer Street. And where you can see there where he's got chambers, that used to be the co-op. Quite a large store was the co-op. Gone a long time ago. As a lot of the shops around here have perished over the years. So many, you can see so many shops now, look, all got shutters or closed down completely and never been reoccupied. I mentioned this in the last video, that used to be a large music store, and that must have closed in the 90s, and it's been unoccupied ever since. And we're in 2025 now. And you can see more empty or shuttered stores along here in Freer Street. This is Maidmig Hair Locks Place. I don't know how you pronounce it. I've had a go. Look at this place here. This is called the Warhammer Shop. Now, I don't even know what Warhammer's all about. I know it's some kind of battle game, isn't it? But it's a very specialist type of hobby. There's the Freer Street kitchen again. Maybe that opens in the evening, but it doesn't look nice as with the shutters up. And there's a chicken shack here. Not a lot going on Freer Street, is there? Another large building here, which he's got for sale. I wonder what that building used to be. There's a church here up. Potter's House Church. It's probably one of those happy clappy places, yeah? Walsall carpets. It's a really barren street, it's Freer Street. There's Debenhams, look. Now where it's got welcome to Old Square Car Park. Well here used to stand the cinema. Here it was called the Empire. And the Empire Cinema opened here in 1933. It's a bit out of the way, isn't it, really, when you think back? Really out of the way. His last film showed here was a film called Cleopatra. It closed in 1964, and by 1965 it was all demolished. No sign of anything of the Empire Cinema that once stood here. Over here we got Gupshup Lounge. Looks like it's one of those bar and grill places. This was once known as Tommy's Bar. It's still a disaster. The Old Square Shopping Centre. I've heard rumours, you know, they actually want to demolish it. But who's to say it's not a good idea, really, because in actual fact there's absolutely nothing going on there. I don't know why the Old Square is in the state it is. Are the rents too high? I just don't know. I don't get it. There used to be loads of market stalls around there at one time, and it used to be thriving with people all around the Old Square. But the shopping centre was indeed a very popular place in the 70s and 80s, but look at it now. It's just incredible how bad it is. Can anything be done to save the Old Square Shopping Centre? I really don't know. It really is an extraordinary sight to see a once thriving shopping centre devoid of practically any shops. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. And if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.